An update now on an ACLU lawsuit against the feds on behalf of a Providence woman. It's a story we've been following closely for you. Lillian Calderon's parents brought her to the U.S. from Guatemala when she was just a child. The mother of two was detained by immigration officials for more than a month last January and ordered to be deported.
A judge has since ruled that the government was unlawful in detaining her. The American Civil Liberties Union of Massachusetts is suing the government in hopes this won't happen to others. Kate Walsh was in Boston earlier today for new legal proceedings. She has the story you'll see only on Eyewitness News.
I was inside Moakley Federal Courthouse here in Boston this morning, where the ACLU of Massachusetts is fighting to set a new precedent for New England. So immigrants like Lillian Calderon of Providence will be part of a class certification and protected by the government while they seek green cards.
We were grateful.
In the course of the past year, Lillian Calderon, a Guatemalan immigrant who has lived most of her life in Rhode Island, has been arrested, detained for over a month, and ordered to be deported, which would split her up from her American husband and two young children. U.S. District Court of Massachusetts Judge Mark Wolf previously ruled the government was unlawful in detaining Calderon while she was pursuing a green card.
This is something that they're allowed to do under the law. In fact, the government created the legal provisions that entitle them to pursue green cards.
Calderon is now the face of a larger lawsuit the ACLU of Massachusetts has filed against the federal government. The first step in that suit, determining who is covered under it. In court Thursday, the ACLU argued it should be a class action lawsuit. The federal government arguing each immigration case should be heard individually.
This is a class of people that the government itself created because the government chose the people to whom it was going to make available this green card process. And what we're saying is, since the government has created that class, the government can be told what to do with respect to that class.
We reached out to ICE for comment, but have not heard back. I asked the ACLU of Massachusetts what's next in the court proceedings. They said they'll next look at which rules might have been violated and what the remedy for those will be. In Boston, I'm Kate Walsh, Eyewitness News.
In courthouses across the country, lawyers are debating complex immigration laws and how they apply to their immigrant clients.
And it's no different in Boston, where the ACLU of Massachusetts, representing an immigrant living in Providence, is hoping to set a new precedent for New England.
Eyewitness News reporter Kate Walsh was inside the federal courthouse in Boston for the story you'll see only on Eyewitness News.
The ACLU of Massachusetts is suing the federal government for what they say and what a judge has previously determined is the unlawful practice of detaining and threatening to deport people who are seeking green cards here in the United States. But the first step in this lawsuit is to determine who will be covered by it, the 5 couples they're representing right now, or others as well living in New England.
We think this may be the only class action of this kind in the country right now.
Lillian Calderon of Providence is now the named plaintiff in a lawsuit filed by the ACLU of Massachusetts against the federal government. She was detained while abiding by the law and attending a meeting with immigration officials to prove she was legally married to her husband, an American citizen. Calderon was held in a prison for at least a month, only to be released and told she would be deported to Guatemala, a country she was born in but never knew. A federal judge ruled that government action unlawful. Calderon is not alone. She and 4 other immigrants legally married to U.S. citizens are part of the lawsuit, but the ACLU of Massachusetts argued in federal court Thursday that there were many more falling under the category who may be afraid to come forward and apply for green cards.
Ultimately, we have to determine how many people, what the law is, which rules, which laws were violated, and what the remedy for that is going to be.
The federal government argued each individual immigration case should be heard separately and not grouped together as a class action lawsuit. We reached out to ICE for comment, but have not heard back. Nearly every immigration story is different, but in this specific lawsuit, the ACLU of Massachusetts is representing couples in which one spouse is a U.S. citizen. In Boston, I'm Kate Walsh, Eyewitness News.